how's it going? It's me, Aman, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are looking at people who had to deal with the most craziest, toxic and wild in-laws that they have ever encountered. Let's get into it. Not me, but my mother. My mum got married for the second time when I was in high school. Her in-laws expressed disapproval of her because she was divorced with kids. The icing on the cake is the in-law's daughter was also divorced with her husband, who is very wealthy, like millionaire wealthy, so it's okay because he has money. Once my stepdad said my mom was the one he wanted to marry, they got on board, but they still treat my brother, mother and me like second-class citizens and worship their son-in-law solely because he's got money. Like, who does that? People are very odd, especially when it comes to marriages and weddings and, you know, courting, let's say. This is up there. This is very, very odd. Wouldn't say it's, I guess it's toxic in a way, but it's more stupid than it is toxic. My mother-in-law made a This Is Your Life photo album for my husband's 40th birthday. This was in 2006, so real photos were still very much a thing. We were married and had been together 15 years and had a baby, yet neither myself nor our baby were featured in a single picture. I'm getting a vibe that mother-in-laws are just as crazy as, well, bridezillas. Though this isn't really focusing on bridezillas, this is just focusing on how stupid, you know, mothers and fathers can be to their kids when they're getting married. Interesting. My father-in-law is a piece of work. I'd been told by my wife while we were dating that he was kind of a jerk, but I figured I'd try to have a relationship with him. After all, I was in love with his only daughter. When I asked him for his permission to ask his daughter to marry me, he said, "I'll think about it," and never said another word. I asked anyway after talking to her family about it and gaining their approval. To this day, he never calls my wife unless he needs something, and our son has only met him a handful of times, but it's always our fault. Okay, maybe the father-in-laws are just as bad as the mother-in-laws. That is crazy. Why would you not be happy for your daughter? Is that not what you want? Did you please tell me that he at least walked her down the aisle with, I mean, he'd be lucky if he was invited to the wedding. This is weird. How can you be acting like this towards your kids and their partners? My husband, our then 1-year-old daughter, and I had plans to meet his mum and her boyfriend for dinner about an hour away. A few days leading up to dinner, our daughter became very sick and dehydrated. She ended up doing outpatient IV fluids for her dehydration for the day of the dinner. My husband called his mum to let her know what was going on and that we wouldn't be able to make it to the dinner. And she flew off the handle saying that we were selfish and she would have expected this. Mind you, we had never missed out on plans with them before. The woman is straight nuts. Yeah, I can see that. It's very clear. Oh my god. Why would you even say that? Why would you... What, no sympathy to your granddaughter at all? Okay. Was it a granddaughter? Was it a daughter? Yeah, it was a daughter, I was right. Well, it's, you know, 2024 and people can start yelling at me for misgendering someone by accident. I always struggle with my mother-in-law. Been with my SO 20 years, but when my son was born 10 years ago, it got truly awful. At my baby shower, she kept talking about taking him to stay with her 4 hours away for the summers. She would never respect our boundaries around rules, bedtimes and parenting styles. Worst of all, when she was around our son, she would take some pictures to post on Facebook and then ignore him and act like he was an annoyance. After I gave birth, she altogether stopped talking to me when visiting. When he was around 6, there was a particularly awful visit with her, and after she asked my husband why he seemed upset through text, he took the time to carefully explain our boundaries and concerns in a thoughtful, kind way. She responded in turn by insulting our marriage, our parenting and our son. We went no contact almost 5 years ago and now we have peace. Listen, sometimes it really is your own people, you know? You really do need to cut off any toxic, you know, relationships that you have with anyone in your family, friends, or anyone that's close to you. It really does, it does help with the soul, and I can understand why they did that. The fact that she insulted their son, that's a bit far. I mean, granted the parenting and the marriage as well, but you're going after a child who probably can't even defend themselves in an argument. That's just rude. Did you really need to do that? I hope not. But you know what? I hope she's probably divorced by her own husband, in all fairness. I mean, what psycho does that? Anyway, She wasn't even my mother-in-law at the time, just the mother of my boyfriend, and we had barely been together for a year. I was a high school senior and my then boyfriend was graduating from military boot camp. Obviously his mum planned to attend the graduation and so did I. I was just casually talking to him on one of his allowed phone calls and said I'd pick up an extra shift so I can avoid the flight. And he insisted he'd pay for my plane ticket because he wanted me there more than anything. I told his mum to let me know what flight she booked so I can book the same flight and let her son know how much it was. Since he wanted to foot the bill, so I wanted to be cost considerate, she starts bawling, full on loses it, and then accuses me of being a gold digger. Mind you, I had been employed since before he and I were even dating and paid for most of our dates because he basically only worked during the hours during the summer. It's been 10 years since that conversation, we've been married for 3 and I still never got an apology or any acknowledgement. Oh, and she also missed our wedding after begging us to not elope and have a real wedding. Which we did, but only his extended family came. Wow, you really dodged a bullet there because I can only imagine what she would have been like during the wedding and like the whole wedding preparation because she would have been full-blown psycho. That's not normal. Like, I don't understand why she would, I mean, you know what, I don't get people at all. This just makes me want to like just stick to dating a rock. Less drama to deal with. I can't deal with this. I'm getting angry for the people who are writing this because they have no other way to express their frustration. You know your in-laws are toxic when they give you unsolicited advice and get mad when you don't follow it. Or when they just straight up try to talk to you into doing something that benefits them and not you. My mother-in-law does both of these and she tries to run other people's lives so she can feel in control and be in everyone's business. She's super nosy and gossips about everyone, so my husband and I don't tell her very many details because we can't trust her. She will even go behind our backs and get information from our kids. The worst part is that she thinks she's smarter than us and we don't see what she's doing. We are looking forward to moving far, far away. As you should, because there is no reason for anyone to know about your business, you know? You keep things private, you keep it in the family. The fact that she's going behind your backs and trying to like guilt trip kids into telling her what's going on, it's very weird. I want to know why she's doing it. I don't understand people who think that they can like control people, you know? I don't get it. It's very odd. It's very narcissistic. Is that the right word? I think that might be the right word. Don't quote me on it. I think it might be narcissism. But anyway, I'm gonna leave the video there. There is a ton more on this page. I just had to skip through the ones that just seemed really boring and couldn't be bothered to read most of them. No offense. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please remember to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.